How's it going, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome back to a brand new Block Dragon BA test hand video. I know we've had some major hits, not really major hits, it's a bit of an over exaggeration, but we've had some hits to this deck with the most recent ban list. Obviously Deshudo getting banned, Jackalope and Tsuchinoko going to 1 apiece, Glow Up Bulb getting banned. We have to make, quite a few changes with this deck. Is it still playable? Absolutely. I just pulled off the full combo just a few moments ago before I started filming this video. Things will have to be a bit different. We adapted, and overcame with the changes we saw we had to make in the last ban list with Sekkas Light going to 1. We got Tour Guide back to 2 as well. Fortunately, she did not come back to 3 this list, but we'll make do with what we have. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and do some test hands under the new ban list, and of course under the new Master Rule set, since that is only a few days away. Also want to mention a quick moment of silence for Glow Up Bulb, of course. It's very, very unfortunate that I cannot play this card, as beautiful as it is for the time being. And I also want to make another shout out to Imperium Duelist, the lovely sponsor of this channel, and they have been for quite some time. If you guys are interested in this beautiful 2-player cloth playmat, the Ultimate Brawl playmat featuring some of the most notable Smash Brothers characters on the final destination stage, facing off against the giant hand on the reverse side. This mat is so beautiful. If you guys want to get it, it's on their website right now. You can use that discount code WinterKills10 off to save 10% off your entire order. Get 10% off this mat, get 10% off some amazing sleeves like the ones I'm rocking here on the main deck and on the extra deck. The two-toned color here, the wine on the inside, the white on the outside. Amazing shuffle sleeves. I highly recommend you guys get on the Imperium train if you have not for sleeves at this point. And also, if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player and you want to help support the channel at no cost to you guys, you can do that by using that affiliate link to TCG Player down in the description below. Be greatly appreciated and does go a long way to support the channel. And if you guys want to get in on some behind the scenes or some exclusive perks and rewards, like possibly early deck profiles, behind the scenes videos and photos of certain videos, bloopers, a special shout out at the end, go ahead and click that join button at the bottom of the video as well, underneath the video in your description, and learn more there. So we're going to do a test hand video, of course, under the new rule set, under the new ban list, and let's see how many times we can brick, or in this case, how many times we can open a really solid hand. This hand right here is probably going to be full combo, just depending on what we mill is going to be the most scary part. I'm going to start with Sekkas Light, and we're going to draw 2 cards, and let's see what we draw. I was worried about drawing 2 to start, since we might increase our chance of drawing into Seer Graff, which we don't want to do at this point, but we have Tour Guide, so we're just going to Tour Guide away for Sangan here, not go for Rhino Warrior. Sangan I still think is a superior, as I grab the Rhino Warrior out of habit. I think Sangan, if you have the choice, and depending on what else you have, I think Sangan is still pretty much superior. Now, we have both of my, main Sangan search targets already in hand, which are the gilasaurus, but that's fine. We're just going to basically search the leonis instead, since we can still summon leonis, since its ability to summon itself from hand to his own elite monster points to is not an effect. It's a summoning condition. So now we're going to use cherubini here. I'm not going to send Rhino Warrior, since we still don't need the extra earth right now, and I'd rather save the Rhino Warrior engraved to act as a second copy of Libic or the Edgem Sabres. And then we'll summon this here. Why BA no die once we put this Gallis on the board? I'm sure somebody will ask, but it's because cherubini, anything that it points to, will protect it from being destroyed by card effects, all BA monsters included. So yeah. Now from this point, we can pretty much just start going absolutely crazy. I'm going to put the... Oh, actually, no, we're not going to use the Sekkas Light just yet. We'll have to see what we draw into later on. But we'll special summon the Leonis, and then we'll use Gallis here. We'll mill a card. They'll take 6, they'll take 6 off the Mathematician being sent to the grave. And then we're going to go ahead and overlay into Dante. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering, what have I put in replace of the Snek, the Jackalope, the Deshudo, and the Glow Up Bulb? Well, we'll get there in just a moment. One of the cards is actually a defrag dragon, a second copy of which, and I've been noticing a little bit here in previous bits of testing where I've actually been able to use Defrag Dragon's graveyard effect, which is to banish 3 monsters with the same name from your graveyard to summon it. That's why I detached the Gallis there, because I know it is one of the only cards that we had to work with that I have 3 of in the deck. As you can see, we already have at least 2 copies in our grave to work with. It's not always going to be an effect that you're going to activate every game, but it does come up sometimes. So now we'll special summon the tracker, and then we're just going to go really off to the races here. Seemingly business as usual with the deck so far. Then we'll resolve our chain links, chain link 1, chain link 2, chain link 3, Dante target Seer, Seer target Dante. Then we'll add this, special this, draw 1, 2, 3, and 4. Drawing Rescue Ferret is actually huge here. We still don't have Block Dragon yet, but that's fine. We're going to be able to get easy access to Block Dragon and our replacement card for Glow Up Bulb all in one foul sweep here. Put this back, and I guess at this point we'll put the Jackalope back since we really don't even need it. And I'm kind of okay with the dangers, all the good dangers being at 1, particularly for this deck, because I find a lot of times drawing dangers late game off Saryuja is kind of really awkward. Especially if you already have the Fossil Dyna, in hand. You kind of don't want to try to gamble it away sometimes. But now we're going to use Saryuja's effect to special summon Rescue Ferret, and we'll use Rescue Ferret's effect to shuffle itself back into the deck and summon monsters from our deck whose total levels equal 6 to the zone and link monster points to. So that is going to be 1, will be the Giant Rex. The other is going to be the Dot Scaper, and last but not least, Recover. So this is the card that is sort of taking the place of Glow Up Bulb. For me, for the time being, still subject to change. Basically, Recover, for those that don't know, if this card is in the graveyard and your opponent has 5 or more cards in their extra deck than you do, you can pay 2,000 life points special on this card, and if you do, banish it when it leaves the field. So basically, a pseudo Glow Up Bulb, it's just up to the amount of extra deck cards that we have versus our opponent. So at this point, we are already down 3 to their 15, so we still need to get 2 more extra deck monsters out of the deck, which we can do here pretty easily. Now, we have a few options. We can actually link into a Curious here, or we could synchro first into Nat Beast and get the use of our tuner immediately, and then we can special summon Gallis by milling a card as the tour guide. They'll take another 6, and then special summoning Gilasaurus, and then we'll go ahead and go into Curious, as some of you might have expected. This is where we'll get our access to Block Dragon, since we still haven't gotten access to it yet. I'm also playing 1 copy of Emergency Teleport to not only be able to tutor out Psychic Wielder and Tracker, but also be able to tutor out that level 1 Earth Tuner that we desperately need to be able to make a card like Naturia Beast. And with Widow Anchor going back to 2, maybe Sky Striker will see a bit of a resurgence, which is fine because we stay making that Nat Beast for them. Now, at this point, we have access to the most broken card in our main deck, which is Block Dragon. So we can definitely take advantage of that. Also would like to try to get a Linguriboh set up at some point. And the placement with this Nat Beast really doesn't matter too much for the time being, because I plan to make the next Saryuja over here to clear up more room. So let's just go ahead and special summon this Gilasaurus again, and then we'll special summon Block Dragon by banishing not this, more importantly, keeping the Gallis in grave, because if we have 3 Gallis in grave, which we do, we can summon Defrag Dragon via its own effect later on. So we'll banish those 3, and then we'll link these. I'm trying to keep the Curious on board because it is a link 3, which will easily allow us to get into easier, securing of the Avermax. And now we'll use our effects here as follow: Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 3. Dante will target the Graff, and then we'll use Block Dragon's effect here to add a Fossil Dyna and another copy of the Gigantes. And then we'll draw into 4 more cards, because why the hell not? Fair and balanced Yu-Gi-Oh! So we'll go ahead and pick up 4 new cards: E-Telly, Defrag Dragon, Psychic Wielder, and Libic. We cannot use the E-Telly, so that's an easy card to put back. We can put back the Libic and the Graff as well. So easy enough decisions to make there. Now, at this point, we have the Psychic Wielder, or the Psychic Weed Dealer, whatever you want to call him, within our hand. But we have no level 3s on board to get access to. So we're going to special summon Defrag by discarding the Gigantes since we don't need it. Then we'll special summon the Psychic Wielder, and then link those 2 into a copy of, let's see here, the Nightmare Cerberus. And then we'll link these 2 into the Avermax. And Avermax is nice here because this is going to give us a zone to put a link monster. And a link monster we're going to get out by special summoning here. Let's see. We really have a lot of extra stuff to work with. Actually, we could just do this. We can keep the gigantes in our hand. We don't even need to go as far as special summoning it from our hand. We'll banish the dot scaper, and we'll banish the leonis, and then dot scaper will summon itself right there, and then we'll link the dot scaper off into a linguriboh, not linkuriboh. And then at this point, we just special summon the fossil Dyna from our hand. Since we have not used Saryuja's effect, we still have this in hand, and we still haven't even used Recover's graveyard effect, or Defrag Dragon's graveyard effect, or Sekkas Light's graveyard effect, and leaving us with a pretty impenetrable board. Still full combo, as you can see, business as usual. Like I said, it's not over until this card gets banned, which I don't think it's going to. I think something else will get hit that might be the nail in the coffin. Maybe Saryuja will get banned, and at that point this deck would struggle a little bit, I would say. Quite a bit, actually, or if this card goes, which I really hope it doesn't. I don't think it deserves to go. Granted, because I feel like it's only used in so many niche things. But that's just my hot take. Maybe a little biased as well, because, you know, I do love this deck a lot. But as you can see, pulling off full combo, no problem. So rest assured, everybody, I'll be posting the deck list that I used for this specific video down in the description or in the comments. For those who are wondering, I will be getting a deck profile up soon. Some things in here might change. They probably will change, actually. So I'll give you guys the temporary list that I'm using currently. But do stay on the lookout for a deck profile. So I'm going to shuffle again here, and we'll go ahead and do another test hand. Alright, so I've shuffled the deck to the best of my abilities without taking forever. Let's see what we draw into. Tour Guide, Libic, Gallis, and Gigantes, and our fifth card is Danger Jackalope. So, I mean, Tour Guide Gallis is phenomenal, what can I say? It's not too surprising that we're opening this card a bit more. It is at 2, still playing a 40 card list to increase the odds of drawing this very powerful card. So yeah, we're going to Tour Guide, and we're going to go for Sangan, of course, because I think it is a bit superior than that of the Rhino Warrior, especially if you're getting it off of Tour Guide. And then, you know, surveying the situation here after we resolve our Sangan to add a copy of Gilasaurus. We don't need to send Rhino Warrior here either, I think. Again, I would still rather just keep him in the deck to increase our chances at later on getting access to a Libic, which in this case we've already opened, which is fine, or getting access to that Edgem Sabres. So yeah, I'm not going to waste that effect here. Would rather just keep it in deck for later on. Now at this point, we'll summon the Gallis by milling a card. It happens to be the Mecha Phantom Beast O-Line, which means I get to use my super fancy Mecha Phantom Beast token. I've been waiting to do that. Now, from here, we're going to go ahead and overlay into a copy of Dante. So, same thing here. Actually, we could go so far as we can summon our Dante right here if we really wanted to. And then we'll go ahead and mill 1, 2, and whoops, I'm throwing cards all over the place. Our third card is a copy of the Wheeleder. We milled a Defrag Dragon as well, and we already have a Gallis in graveyard, which is nice. Gallis is probably going to be the only 3 of within the deck that you're going to be able to take advantage of Defrag Dragon. So, as a note of caution, if you're going to play Defrag Dragon, be mindful of your Gallis count within the grave. If you can save it, you know, by not banishing it for Block Dragon, you know, to get a level 3 on board later, whether it be for Leviair or something, I would probably just recommend saving it. But now at this point, like, I don't want to use Jackalope without using Gilasaurus first, because it's literally just free real estate. So I think I'm not even going to use the Jackalope yet. I'm just going to hold the Jackalope, and now I'm going to link everything off into our first Saryuja, and we'll see where we're at after we resolve all of our effects. Chainlink 1, Saryuja, Chainlink 2 Cedar, Chainlink 3 Dante. Dante goes here. This goes back to our hand. We have 2 BAs in our hand, so these are easily going back into the deck, allowing us to basically get 2 free draws off of the Saryuja. Yeah, so these are going back, and we could even go so far as to put back the Gizmek, since we can just summon out the Scrap Recycler off of the Saryuja and use its effect to dump that Gizmek right back to the graveyard, because that'll help secure Dingirsu. We're not going to use the effect of the Sea Archiver here, and instead, this is where I'm going to go ahead and opt to use the Jackalope. I could stop dropping all my cards. And if Jackalope goes through, it goes through. We get to see an additional card. Hopefully it's Block Dragon. Both these hands have started really great, but they have yet to, you know, get easy access to the Block Dragon very early on. I need a dice here out of this Imperium deck box with a beautiful dice tray. So if you guys are interested in picking it up, you can for 10% off using that discount code. 1 through 4. Let's see what we get. We got 3. And it is the Gigantes, which is A-OK. If we could draw a Block Dragon here, that would be great. And it's a Fiendish Rhino Warrior, which is fine. Let's see here. What do we have in our graveyard to work with? This is where things might start getting down to the nitty-gritty, because we don't have access to Block Dragon yet. We've exhausted our normal summon. We haven't drawn into that many great extenders here. I guess we could go right into another Saryuja, but I'm sort of looking at our Earth count on field in order to make curious, because if we draw into Rescue Ferret off of this next Saryuja, like, we pretty much have full combo. There's no question there. But I think I'm going to just link here. We could have special summoned the Gigantes and then made curious to dump Block Dragon, but I think I'm just going to go right into the second Saryuja, which we'll still put over here, actually, since we haven't had anything else on our board yet. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Dante will add back that Graff, and then we'll go ahead and draw 1. There's Block Dragon 2, 3, and 4, and we draw Rescue Ferret and E-Telly. Those are some insane draws. So we have to keep in mind, though, that with going for the Rescue Ferret play, we're basically surrendering Saryuja, summoning the Fossil Dyna later on, which means we're going to need to make a Leviair. So we have to make sure we include that within our game plan. I'm going to put back E-Telly here, since I don't really think we need it. So I think we can put back E-Telly, the Graff for sure, and we can definitely put back the Rhino Warrior as well, since I don't think we need that card either. I like having these cards that we have right now. Saryuja's effect will activate, we'll special summon the Rescue Ferret, and we're going to go ahead and get out that Recover, that Giant Rex, and last but not least, that copy of Scaper. Now, from here, we can immediately make linguriboh and a Nat Beast, which I think we could just outright just do, which I think I'm actually gonna. We're just gonna synchro these off right now. And keep in mind, the more extra deck monsters we go into, the more we're gonna make our Recover live. And at this point, we've gone into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now we do have 5 less than our opponent, assuming they are playing a 15-card extra deck. So we could basically revive that Recover at the cost of 2,000 life points right now if we decided to do so. But I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm actually going to link Scaper off into linguriboh while we're ahead and while we have the space on our board. And we're basically just going to get them all back off of the Block Dragon summon. We'll banish Scaper. We'll banish the Scrap Recycler, and I guess we could go so far as to banish Giant Rex also. I'll put my banish pile up here. If you guys can see that as best as you can. And then Giant Rex and Scaper will resummon themselves as they do. We don't really need to go into Curious here per se, but we might as well just to get a free card from our deck to the graveyard. And for me, that free card is going to be, let's see. We do know that we have to secure a rank 3 play for Fossil Dyna. And actually, we need to resolve, more importantly, our Block Dragon is Chainlink 1. So let's do that, and then use the effective Curious here to dump any other card. I'm looking at Edgem Sabres, just because if something goes south with our defrag and Sea Archiver, we have another level 3 to work with. And yes, I did pick up this beautiful Lost Art Edgem Sabres at my OTS, or at an OTS store a few weeks back. And then we'll cut the deck. We'll mill 3. We mill Psychic Tracker, Block Dragon, and Seer, whose effect we've already exhausted this turn, so we won't need to worry about using its effect there. Now, from this point on, let's go ahead and try to secure an Avermax. And how are we going to do that? That is a good question. I am going to do it by first special summoning Block Dragon by banishing the Fossil Dyna in our hand, very importantly, this Tracker Engrave, and we're going to go ahead and banish the Saryuja. And then I guess we could just pay 2,000 life points here and summon out recover. Just like that. And then link these two off. This will get banished for a copy of the Nightmare Cerberus. And then these will link themselves into a copy of Avermax. We don't really technically need to make Avermax, but we can just because we have the resources to do so. Now we're going to summon defrag dragon by summon defrag dragon by discarding the archiver, and then it hits the zone, so we can special summon this. And then from here we can go ahead and make leviair. And the only thing we're missing at this point is basically the room to summon the block dragon, which I guess we could summon this over here. It really doesn't make too big of a difference. I'm just trying to think the best way that we could probably play this out. Actually, if we take a step back, put this back here, these go back into our hand. I'm trying to think if there's a way where we can make like I just don't think we'll have the room here actually to get block dragon on field with everything that there is based on our zone placements, because we do have to make leviair. I'm trying to think if there's a way we can make leviair up here and then, you know, summon block dragon here and then summon back this here, but I don't see a way currently. Alright, so after thinking about it for a little bit, I don't think there's a way we're going to be able to get block dragon on the board here. We'll still special summon defrag by discarding archiver, and archiver's effect will still activate once that card hits the zone. And then we'll still summon the leviair. So yeah, we don't have protection from destruction by card effects for rock monsters here, unless we were to like link away the Avermax and the Saryuja right now into a Nightmare Phoenix, and then make like Appaloosa. Like all that just seems very, very wasteful, because what we would have to do is like, yeah, link these two into a Nightmare Phoenix and put it up here, and then special summon this and special summon block dragon by banishing this, and this, and this will banish another earth as well. Almost forgot. We'll banish the psychic wielder, and then we can link all of these off into Appaloosa. This is just like a big flex play, I guess. I really wouldn't 100% recommend doing this. Then we can still special summon this by banishing this, and this. And then we can special summon Gizmek Orochi from our graveyard by banishing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then banish all those face down. And get out our gizmek. And then from here we can overlay these into a copy of dingirsu, just like that, and we'll use dingirsu's effect to attach, since we do have a banished machine, which is that scrap recycler, that one of that we are playing, just like this. And then we can use this effect last but not least to summon out our banished fossil Dyna. So that's a way to do it, or just doing what we basically had before we started linking. Before we linked off the Avermax, would have just been use leviair, summon fossil Dyna here, and not have protection by destruction by card effect. But basically, with this, it's not super optimal. We still only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 7 cards left in our deck. So we can only negate would be like 3 spells and a trap. But they can't special summon. We have 3 monster negates. We have 3 spell negates. And we have a pretty solid board. Ideally, we'd maybe only want to negate like 2 spells. 3 if we really had to. But that was like not the most optimal way of doing that. I think what I should have just done is try to go for the dingirsu earlier on, because it saves space, I think. Just leaves us more room to work. Yeah, we just had to fit the leviair in there, though. That's what made things a little crowded. But yeah, that's going to do it for that test hand. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I think you would just be fine just summoning out the fossil Dyna without block dragon on the board to accompany it. Because they have to have a card that destroys via card effect. And any of those cards, ideally, might not be monster effects. And if it's a trap, you have linguriboh to negate it. If it's a spell, you have the Nat Beast to negate it. They can't attack it in battle phase. So I feel like you're fine either way, but if you wanted to really do the flex play like we just did there, then you can do the flex play. But again, I would just advise against it, especially in a tournament setting where you don't want to take any major chances like that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle again here, and we'll go ahead and do another test hand. All right, so just finishing up shuffling the deck here. Let's see if we can open Tour Guide for the third turn in a row. It's probably not going to happen, though, this time around. Also using the reverse side of the mat here. But maybe this will be our first unlucky opening. Gallis Tracker, gilasaurus, okay. Seeing 3 level 3s, if you don't see power cards like Mathematician and Tour Guide, is kind of the way. But yeah, we're going to start with Gallis. We'll mill 1. Please don't be Seer or Graff. Okay, it's Tsuchinoko, which is A-okay. Then we'll special summon Tracker here and link those 2 off for the cherubini. Now, one thing I'm starting to become more accustomed to doing, because I feel like I'm a bit greedy when I play this deck. We'll use the effect of cherubini here. Still not going to send Rhino Warrior because we still do not need it. You cannot convince me otherwise. But I'm a bit greedy when I play this deck, and what I mean by that is the simple fact that oftentimes I have enough resources to get into Saryuja, and I'll explain how I mean by that in just a second here. But we're going to special summon the gilasaurus, and then we're going to go ahead and overlay into our Dante at this point. This is what we would do, given everything has gone through at this point. Now we'll go ahead and mill 3, Giant Rex, Danger, Jackalope, and E-Telly. Milling the E-Telly sucks. Obviously, we don't want to mill a spell, so if we draw Sekkas Light later, the only plus side about it is the fact that it's going to be an easy card to put back off of the Saryuja. But what I was saying is, if we're in dire straits, where we only have, like, at the point here, before we even mill for Dante, if we're at the point where we only have 1 more extender to work with, a lot of times I just wouldn't attach Seer to bring back the Graff to get another body, to be able to get another body on top of that to be able to complete the Saryuja, just because I'm always very fond of having Seer as Chainlink 2 and Dante as Chainlink 3 in most cases, because I like getting that extra body back on the field in the form of Dante, because Dante is going to be able to use this effect again to add back to help Chainlink block for the second Saryuja. But this case, we milled good, which I still should have detached Seer, which I didn't even detach Seer there out of a literal force of habit. But at this point, we'll special summon Gigantes by banishing Giant Rex, and Giant Rex will summon itself. We do have to burn our Giant Rex a bit early, but it's not the end of the world for sure. So let's go ahead and Saryuja here, and we'll go ahead and use effects Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 3. Seen it 1,000 times at this point. And let's draw into 4 cards. Hopefully one of them isn't Sekkas Light. Hopefully one of them is Block Dragon, but no Cigar. We still haven't normal summoned yet, which is actually pretty crazy, because we started that turn with a lot of level 3 extenders. I guess I could have normal summoned Scaper. I didn't even realize that. So what we'll do here is we'll put back Seer. We'll put back Defrag Dragon, although I really like the idea of keeping Defrag Dragon at this point. We could put back Sangan, since we're just going to get it off of Tour Guide anyways. So I guess we could put back Sangan, and I guess we could put back Gigantes also. So we'll go ahead and do that. Or, this is kind of tough here. We could keep Sangan, and special summon off the Saryuja, and then use Tour Guide to get Rhino Warrior, which would get us Edgem Sabres. So I think actually I'm going to do that. We'll put these 3 back. The Defrag Dragon, as enticing as it is, because we could also use Saryuja to special summon Scaper too. Let's go ahead and put back the Defrag Dragon. I think I'm fine with that. We'll use Saryuja to special summon Sangan, and then we'll normal summon Tour Guide to go ahead and special summon. If we summon out another well, we can't make Curious with these. They're all fiends. But we'll summon out the Rhino Warrior. And then from here, we can link into our second Saryuja, which we're going to need here. We'll link off these, everything but the Tour Guide, because we want to trigger all those graveyard effects. Fantastic graveyard effects. Now our chain links will go chain link 1 sangan, because it's a mandatory effect. Chain link 2 saryuja. Chain link 3 rhino warrior. Chain link 4 Dante. Dante will add. And then rhino warrior will send the sabres. And then we are going to draw off of the saryuja now, and then add off of the sangan, either leonis or gilasaurus, whatever cards we happen to see. Drawing gilasaurus, drawing gizmek, drawing mathematician, drawing mathematician. I'm going to put back the mathman, the graff, and the other mathman, I guess. And then we'll use gilasaurus here, not gilasaurus, we'll use sangan to grab our copy of the leonis, which is that next card right there. So now at this point, it's crunch time in regards to getting access to block dragon, because that is the main thing we are missing. We're also missing that recover, which at this point we really have to mill off of our curious, or we're not going to get access to Nat Beast this turn. I mean, granted, like glow up bulb being glow up bulb in this situation doesn't make a difference either. We just had bad luck with getting things going. But we're going to special summon the gilasaurus via its own effect, and then we're going to special summon the leonis also via its own effect. I don't want to use Saryuja's effect here, but like it might just come down to us having to use that effect. Yeah, I think, or we can summon this early and, you know, link these two off for Cerberus and then link those off for something. But I think I'm going to use the Saryuja's effect here early and summon out Scaper and link off a sabres, a dinosaur, and a beast into none other than Curious. And then Curious, I mean, for me, like the priority at this point comes down to saying we need Block Dragon more than we need, you know, the Recover. We'll also chain block the Curious by summoning the Scaper when it hits the grave. Now, statistically, if we send the Recover, we have a greater chance of milling a Block Dragon than if we were to send a Block Dragon and then, you know, having a chance of hitting this, because there's only one of these left in the deck after we use its after we send the Block Dragon, versus, you know, there being 2 Block Dragons left in the deck or 3 Block Dragons the other way. But I'm very, very you know, not keen on the fact of having to bank on that, so I'm just gonna send Block Dragon and just mill 3 cards here. And if we mill the Recover, we mill the Recover. And we'll just leave it at that. So hopefully we do mill Recover. We'll cut the deck, keep it official, and we mill Pachycephalo, we mill Sekkas Light, and we mill Seer. Those are pretty rough mills at this point in the game, because we don't have access to Sea Archiver either. We do have Sekkas Light engraved though, which is kind of nice, because with that being said, we do have a chance to mulligan this back into the deck and try to draw something. One being Gallis. Another draw would be something along the lines of Danger. Like Snek would be nice. Nessie would be nice, because Nessie is in the deck. Well, yeah, Snake is in the grave, so we can't get Snake. And Jackalope's already in the grave too, so never mind on that. Drawing Nessie would be very, very bad. We can make Leviair as it stands, though. We can do that. We definitely can. But we have to leave the tour guide here in order to have, because that's going to be the other half of our rank 3 right there. And Pachycephalo is engraved, which is kind of nice, actually. Because it will give us an easy target to banish. We don't have to worry about getting it to our hand first. But I'm going to summon Block Dragon here. We're going to banish Pachycephalo. We're going to banish this. And we're going to banish Giant Rex. Or not Giant Rex, Gigantes. And now here we can actually link these two. Or link these two, rather, into a Cerberus. And then link these two into an Avermax. So we already got that secured, and then we can link this off into a Linguriboh. And then we can use Block Dragon's effect here Completely forgot about that, so we're going to go ahead and resolve that now. Which is actually good that we're resolving Block Dragon's effect, because we have an extra card in our hand to put back for that edge imp, and that allows us to keep this gizmek in our hand, which will allow us to make the dingirsu. That's the word I'm looking for. Now at this point, we'll use the edge imp, stack that back to the top of the deck, summon it out, and that's actually kind of nice because that will allow us to put an extra card back into our deck to, you know, give more gizmek food. And at this point, we'll special summon that gizmek by banishing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we banish the recover. We didn't. Recover is still in the deck somewhere. Put my banish pile down here. And then we'll summon Block Dragon again, banishing this, this, and this. Just like that. And then we can actually first, let's use the Sekkas Light Graveyard effect now. Put this Gigantes back into the deck and see if we can draw into anything useful at this point. I really don't know what we could draw, but might as well just do it for shits and giggles, I guess. So we'll cut the deck. And we draw into Defrag Dragon, which would have been fine if we had a card to work with. But alas, we do not. Then we'll overlay here into Dingirsu, and I don't think we banished Scrap Recycler. I don't think we had a Scrap Recycler in our grave. If we did, we should have banished that, knowing that Dingirsu was coming, but no, we do not. So now we'll go ahead and detach 4 leviair, and we're going to target the pachycephalo. So this point we don't have Nat Beast, which is unfortunate. We weren't able to get to our tuner, which, you know, even if it was Glow Up Bulb, like Glow Up Bulb and Recover are very similar, where they don't do anything unless they're in the grave. They're no, like, one's no better than the other. I guess Glow Up Bulb is better, the fact that it can mill itself to summon it, you know, mill a card to summon itself out of the grave, but it has to be in the graveyard in the first place to begin with, to be even able to get it out, which we weren't able to get into the graveyard. So the fact that it's either Recover or Glow Up Bulb in this case does not matter. Like, that card could still be Glow Up Bulb. It would not make a difference in this particular situation because we did not have access to it. Again, we could have done the greedy play, or sort of the more statistically correct play, and try to gamble on sending the 1 of Recover in hopes we mill a 3 of Block Dragon versus sending a 3 of Block Dragon in hopes we mill a 1 of Recover. I just wanted to I didn't want to take any chances, because if we send the Recover and don't mill the Block Dragon, like, we're still in a bad spot. But we're in a better position if we have access to Block Dragon, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's going to do it for this test hand. Ending on pretty much a 99% board. 95% probably would be a better way to put it. But I'm still contemplating, like, whether or not I play E-Telly or if I play Foolish Burial. Because Foolish Burial kind of, like, does the same thing as E-Telly in regards to the Recover, where if it's in our grave and we at least have 5 or less you know, cards in our extra deck than our opponent, we can still summon it out. But at the same time, it also gives us the opportunity to send Block Dragon to the grave, whereas E-Telly cannot send Block Dragon to the grave. It can only get us access 1 of 3 monsters at any given point. So I still might put it in the deck. Maybe we'll play these last 2 test hands out actually with Foolish in the deck, and see how it goes. I'm going to make the swap right here. We're going to cut the E-Telly for the Foolish Burial. We're still playing 2 spells within the deck. It's kind of whichever do we draw first is the one we get to use. And I'm kind of liking playing Block Dragon BA with the 2 spells, even with the Sekkas Light in the deck. I think it's still fine playing 2 spells. I think Sekkas Light is still too damn good to not play. But I think accompanying it with 1 other power spell, whether it be E-Telly or Foolish, I think is okay as well. Just because, like, it's just you're increasing your odds of seeing one of those spells, and they're both going to do very, very good things for you regardless. And speak of the devil, we draw the Foolish, but is the rest of our hand going to be garbage? It looks like it. Let's go ahead and set this and use the snek here, and see what we can make of this. We have Rescue Ferret in our hand, which is great. We just got to get to a Saryuja. So we roll a 1. It's the snek, of course. My luck is god awful. What can you do? at this point, we could foolish here to send Rhino Warrior to send sabres, which again isn't doing us a whole lot. But actually, you know what? We can actually still make a really cool play here with Rescue Ferret. Yeah, we can definitely still make a really cool play here. I'm going to send sabres off of the foolish. Because we can use Rescue Ferret as our normal summon, which will still be very, very good. But now we're going to have to use an early ferret to go ahead and get access to Cherubini. And I'm going to stack the Giant Rex back to the top of our deck. And we're going to link these two off into the Cherubini. Now, at this point, we can sort of get creative what we send with Cherubini, because we're going to use Rescue Ferret here as our normal summon, shuffle itself back into the deck, and we're going to get access to, well, first, I should do it this way. First, we should use Cherubini, because Cherubini is going to send us, let's see, let's send Sea Archiver. Then we'll normal summon Rescue Ferret, shuffle it back into the deck, and we'll go ahead and summon out the Graff, and we can summon out any other level 3. So let's go ahead and summon out Sangan. And then on that summon, we'll go ahead and use Sea Archiver. So things are playing out still really good here, despite the abysmal opening that we had. Things really not going south, starting even with the Danger Snake not going through. Now we'll overlay these two, and we'll go ahead and use this. Now, the unfortunate factor here is that with Sangan being on the board, we have to detach that. Like, Sangan had to get summoned to the zone that Cherubini pointed to off of Rescue Ferret. We technically could have changed our target to Libic, knowing that we're going to have to detach the Graff, and that's going to have to summon the Seer, but it's not going to have to go to the zone it points to, and we don't want our Seer to auto-destruct. So we're going to have to sacrifice on a plus, unfortunately, to be able to get at, or we could have summoned Rhino Warrior off of that. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's just summon Rhino Warrior instead, because that way we can get a card to our graveyard, an additional card to our graveyard, while still, like, not having to, I guess, summon a Libic, I guess. So we'll mill 3 here first. We don't shuffle. We mill 3. We mill Gigantes, we mill Block Dragon, we mill Psychic Wheeleder. That's pretty good. And we also get an extra Earth out of it, I guess, in the process. And then we'll use the Graff to summon the Seer. YBA, no die. There's a non-BA on the board. Rhino Warrior is offering protection for all Fiend-type monsters, for those that are wondering. So now we'll go ahead and link into a Saryuja. I'm surprised we've even made it this far, if I'm being totally honest. So now we'll use our effects. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Chainlink... Well, we really need to use Rhino Warrior here. Our only other target in the deck is Libic or Sangan, and Sangan won't get its effect off of that, and we already have Sabres engraved, so I'm just gonna waive the Rhino Warrior effect, not even bother using it, and then we'll go ahead and draw 4 cards. We also have access to Block Dragon 2, and we draw these cards. So these 3 cards are going back immediately. We do not need them whatsoever. Now, in order to get into Cherubini, I don't even believe we used our normal summon again either, because we started with Snake. Snake got hit, Snake summoned itself, then we used Foolish to send Sabres. Sabres stacked Giant Rex, that summoned itself, made Cherubini. Oh no, we did use our normal summon. We used our normal summon to Rescue Ferret. So yeah, okay, we got that sorted out early, which is good. Had to go back and retrace the steps. Sometimes it's easy to lose where you were, but we still have a danger left in the deck. So using the Jackalope here is pretty safe. So we're gonna go ahead and roll 1 through 6. We roll a 2. Is our luck terrible? Not quite. We'll go ahead and pick up a new card, and it's Gilasaurus. That is pretty good. Now at this point, we have 1, 2, 3 extra Earths, 4 Earths engraved to work with. We can summon the Gilasaurus here, which I'm definitely gonna do. And we have the opportunity here to summon the Block Dragon and make Curious with Block Dragon, Saryuja, and Gilasaurus, and then use that to get Recover to the graveyard, and hope we have, you know, enough gas in the tank to work with after that. Because, like, we're very, very close to a a curious as is. We're 1 card away. After we link off for the Saryuja, who knows if we'll be even that close. We might just have the Saryuja and the block dragon. And at that point, I guess we're still 1 off. So might as well try to dig a bit deeper into the deck first. I don't know if we use Saryuja's special summon effect here. I don't think we did actually, so we will now, and we'll use it to summon the Gizmek from our hand. But then again, it seems not... Well, yeah, we'll use it anyways. We're going to suffer a bit in hand advantage for the Saryuja, but I think ultimately it'll be okay, since we're kind of in a bad spot regardless. I guess, actually, we could have summoned Block Dragon here first. Put these cards back on the board. We could have summoned Block Dragon here. Let's do that, actually, since we haven't even resolved his search effect yet. So we'll do that now. And then we'll link off this, and this. Well, we have to link off the Block Dragon. So we'll link off these. That makes a bit more sense. Then we'll go ahead and put our Saryuja up here. Chain link 1, chain link 2, chain link 3. This will add this. The Block Dragon will add that fossil Dyna that we put back off of our other Saryuja. And then we'll draw 4 new cards. And let's see what those 4 new cards are. And first Psychic Tracker, then O-Lion, then Tour Guide, then Scaper. So we're going to put back Tour Guide. We're going to put back the O-Lion. And we're going to put back the Graff, since we do not need Graff anymore. So we're in a good spot. We have access to Curious, so we're going to special summon this. And we're going to special summon Block Dragon now. By banishing Saryuja, Gigantes in hand, and Scaper in hand, and Scaper will summon itself as a result. Those are banished. Now we'll use a Psychic, a Dino, and a Rock to go into Curious. This is going to get access to our Recover for us. And yeah, we're going to go for Recover, because we kind of have to. And there's the next card on the top of the deck. Would you look at that? We also have access to linguriboh as it stands too. And getting that Gizmek on field was actually kind of a good idea, because that might save us 8 cards within our deck to work with for Nat Beast in any following turns. We mill that Giant Rex. We also mill Sekkas Light, which we can actually still use its graveyard effect, despite having used Foolish Burial earlier this duel. And let's see, what is our extra deck count at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 cards in our extra deck. Our opponent would have 15, assuming they're playing a 15-card extra deck, which most people are playing currently. We can summon the Recover at this point if we want to. We just need to make a Avermax first, because if we make the Avermax here, we can put the linguriboh here, which will help free up some space over here for other things. I'm just trying to survey our graveyard, make sure we have the room. Yeah, so we have Gigantes in hand too. So I'm going to summon Block Dragon, and I'm going to banish the Giant Rex and these 3. And Giant Rex will summon itself. And then we're going to go ahead and link these 2 off into Nightmare Cerberus. And then we'll link this off for linguriboh. And then we'll link these off for the Avermax. We might not even need Avermax here. Yeah, I don't think we're going to need Avermax. I just want to check our graveyard, make sure I'm not too, behind on Earth monsters, which it looks like we are a little bit. Let's see here. Because we're going to have to banish 1 more Earth for the Summon of Gigantes, which can be this. And then we can Recover and then link those, synchro those 2. Actually, I think we'll be fine. Avermax might not be 100% needed here, though. We can instead go for Appaloosa with just 2 materials on it. So let's go for Appaloosa. Then special summon Gigantes. And the reason I'm not going for Avermax is because we're going to be able to secure a Dingirsu play. And then we'll pay 2,000 to summon out the Recover. And then we'll synchro. and since this will get banished, we can actually put the Nat Beast over here since we are an MR5. And then at this point, we need to summon the Block Dragon one more time, which we do have exactly 3 Earths left to be able to summon it. So I'll banish this, this, and this. So I was worried about getting low on that Earth count. And then we'll overlay into Dingirsu. We do not have an Earth monster to or a machine monster to reattach, I believe. That scrap recycler is still in the deck. And then we'll use Saryuja here lastly to summon out the fossil Dyna, giving us pretty much the best board I think you can produce with this deck is having the Nat Beast, the Linguriboh, the Appaloosa, the fossil Dyna, the Dingirsu, and last but not least the Saryuja. So this is up by an additional 300. Same with this and this. So yeah, a pretty solid board if you ask me. Our next card is Gilasaurus, and we're milling Gilasaurus and Gallis, and then we're milling 2 more possibly for a Nat Beast again. The game is probably already over at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle here, and we'll make this a bit of a longer video, and we'll do one more test hand video since I'm kind of vibing right now with the deck. Still happy to see it is still functioning like a well-oiled machine, even, you know, regarding the new bandless hits. Alright, I'm done shuffling here, and again, if you guys want to help support the channel, don't forget to use my TCG affiliate link down in the description below, and if you want to pick up this mat, or again, any of these beautiful sleeves that I'm using, don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist, and you can use that discount code to get 10% off your entire order, which is a huge steal, especially since they're doing a sale on their sleeves right now where you buy 2, you get 1 free. So not only can you buy 2, get 1 free, but you can also get them for 10% off, and that is a deal if you ask me. And also one thing about that last hand, the way it started with the Foolish, if that was E-Tally, I think we still would have been in the same position, because we would have, actually we might have been in a bit better position because we would have had an extra card in our hand to work with, because we could have just E-Tallied out like a wielder or a tracker and still kept playing that because that got us our other level 3. Yeah, but we're going to draw into this hand and see how it starts. Pretty good, actually. Pretty good. We're going to start with Mathman. Mathman going to send the O-line. I think this is like the first time in the entire video that we've opened Mathematician, which is pretty funny. Cut the deck real quick. I don't know actually why I'm cutting the deck. I'm just wasting time, I guess. Force of habit. So we're going to go right into Cherubini. Cherubini is not going to send Rhino because it's in our hand. But we're going to send Graff, and Graff will summon Seer as a result. And then from here, we can use Defrag Dragon, special summon itself by discarding the Rhino Warrior. And then we'll use Rhino Warrior's effect to send Edgem Sabres. Get that other level 3 extender in the graveyard for later on. And then I'm not going to commit any more cards in our hand to the board until after we mill with Dante to see where we're at resource-wise. So this is sort of where the road, you know, has a bit of a fork in it. A lot of things could happen from here when regarding the probability of cards that we need. So this is the decision where we need to make. Do we need to detach Seer? Well, let's look at the rest of our hand in our graveyard. So as it stands, we have a way to summon Gigantes, and we have a way to get Leonis on board. So even if we mill Terrible off of the Dante and we detach the defrag, we can still get 2 more bodies on board, which means we get to our Saryuja with at least a Dante back in on the field and a BA in our hand. So with that being said, I don't think we need to detach the Seer here. If we didn't have these extenders, I would say we detach the Seer. But we're going to mill Recover, Defrag, and Block Dragon. Those are some absolute bonkers mills. Yeah, those are really, really good. I'm going to special the Leonis and summon the Block Dragon here since we have 1, 2, 3, and we'll banish the Gigantes. And then we'll just link. First time milling that Recover feels pretty darn good. But again, if it was a Glow Up Bulb, it would be live immediately. Recover, not live quite just yet. We still need to get a few more cards into the graveyard from our extra deck, or out of our extra deck rather. But chainlinks are as follows: chainlink 1, chainlink 2, chainlink 3, chainlink 4. That beautiful 4 chainlink chain. This goes to our hand. And then we'll add the fossil Dyna alongside the Gigantes as per usual. And then we'll see if we draw any of our spells, our power spells off of it. And we draw both of them. Again, it's just sort of free real estate with what cards we get to put back. That's the nice thing about trying to have Dante and Seer resolve. So not only do you get a body back on the field, and of course you get that body into your hand, which again makes you be able to essentially keep more of the cards that you're drawing off Saryuja. We have 3 cards in hand already, so we could put back these 3 cards and keep 4 brand new cards if we really wanted to. So drawing Gilasaurus, Tour Guide, Sangan, and Giant Rex. Of course, we've already committed our normal summon, so Tour Guide is a non-factor. We do not need that card. We do not need the Seer either. We haven't used the special summon effect of Saryuja yet, so we could keep the Sangan. And Sangan would basically get us the Gilasaurus back. So we can go ahead and put the Gilasaurus back. We could special summon the Giant Rex here also. But I don't really think we need to do that. So I'm just going to use the Saryuja to special summon this. And then we'll special summon the Gigantes by banishing the Leonis. And then we're going to link here again. Curious, really not needed too much with this particular hand because we have pretty much all the boxes checked. It's just a matter of having all the resources that we need engraved when the time comes to fully start assembling the board. Those are some bonkers draws. Also, forgot to use Dante's effect to add back, and then Sangan's effect will activate after we resolve the effect of Saryuja here. My apologies if I confused anyone in the order that I did that. We're definitely keeping the sekkas light, though, 100%. And, I mean, we can put back the Gilasaurus only to search it again. So, I guess we'll do that. Yeah, since people are watching that without audio, don't get confused. We'll put those back. Then we'll use the Sangan to get this back to our hand. Then we'll draw 2 more. Draw into Gizmek and Scrap Recycler. Those are literally insane draws. Yeah, we haven't used our Foolish Burial yet. So, now comes the assembly part of the deck. We're going to start assembling the final end board. They take 14 off of that. Then we'll special summon this off of its own effect. Let's see, not too much is banished currently. Let's see in our extra deck also, what do we have? I think we're still a bit short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we would need to make a Curious here actually. And that's fine because we can get an extra card to our graveyard to work with. We'll banish the Scrap Recycler here, which is completely fine because that will just get reattached to Dingirsu. I can already tell with this field that we're going to have to make Dingirsu at some point for this end board. And we might not actually have to, but I'm still going to do it anyways. I'm going to send Scaper here, since that will essentially allow us to get access to Linguriboh, which is one card we don't have access to yet. Sometimes you have to forego the Linguriboh if the cards don't line up, but we have the extra card here to be able to do that. Then we'll mill 3 Foolish Burial, Libic, and Gilasaurus. Not going to resolve the effect of Libic since we don't have any cards to do so. Now, from here, I think we should have 10 cards. I'll double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can summon that recover, so that'll just go ahead and launch itself from the graveyard at the cost of 2,000 life points. And then we'll summon Block Dragon by banishing Scaper, Gallis. Actually, we'll keep the Gallis engraved. Scaper, Gilasaurus, and let's see what else we have in here. And the other Gilasaurus to summon out Block Dragon. And Scaper will summon itself. Actually, we're not going to banish the Scaper. We're going to banish the Giant Rex. So banishing 2 Gilas from the graveyard. And the Giant Rex from our hand. And that'll allow us to synchro these 2. This will get banished. And we can put the Nat Beast way over here. Since we can save the other room here for other link monsters. Then at this point, let's see. So at this point, we can link these off into a copy of our Appaloosa. Since we haven't, you know, we don't really need to keep the Curious on board. We're not going to make Avermax. Now at this point, we'll special summon this by banishing this, and one other Earth. We'll just banish the Giant Rex. The Scaper will summon itself. And then that will link itself into the Linguriboh. And then we'll summon Gizmek here by banishing 8 face down. 3, 4. See what we banished. Not too bad at all. Really doesn't make a difference at this point. Getting my banished pile over here again for some reason. I keep putting it over there. Put it down here at the very bottom left. Then we'll overlay dingirsu over here. I'd rather have this zone open to summon the fossil Dyna in if I can help it, because that way we'll get the attack boost on the fossil Dyna. And then we'll use dingirsu's effect to attach one. That's going to be the scrap recycler. And you can see where this is pretty much going from here. Last but not least, saryuja special summons the fossil Dyna. And I think for the 5th hand in a row, we're able to pretty much pull off full combo. Still having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards left in the deck. Ability to turn off 3 spells and still have 2 cards to work with for next turn. Negating a trap, negating 2 monster effects. They can't special summon. And our graveyard, not too loaded. But they're definitely going to die next turn if they don't have anything to stop this. So yeah, that's going to do it for this test hand video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I don't think this deck is going anywhere, even with the recent hits on the ban list. As you can see, we just got to play some new cards in the main deck, which is totally fine with me because I love having to actually make some change that is forced upon really other thing that's not really just like a tech choice. Like you kind of have to not play Gloat Bulb anymore because of the ban list, right? Or else you'd be called a cheater. Someone who doesn't follow the rules. So you do have to make up, new choices, new things to work with. So yeah, I think I've said enough. My throat hurts a little bit from talking so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this longer video. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. At least deck list should be in the comments or in the description. Deck profile coming soon. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, we're going to kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.